Yeah, I love them beats from Nephew, man. You know, they be waking me up in the morning. It's early over here on the West Coast, man. It's what, 7:20 right now? But you're tuning in. I'm your host, Paco, and you're listening to Occupy the Media. I appreciate it if you're listening in with us today. I was just going through some announcements here earlier. I want to jump into some headlines now. A lot of us saw this coming, or should have saw this coming. The government's, watching Pakistan, got drones flying over Pakistan, drones flying over who knows where else. But we're about to have it in our own backyard, watching us. I have here a headline. Let's see here. The tiny town of Lakota, North Dakota is quickly becoming a key. Actually, the headline says, first man arrested with drone evidence vows to fight case. The tiny town of Lakota, North Dakota is quickly becoming a key testing ground for the legality of the use of unmanned drones by law enforcement after one of its residents became the first American citizen to be arrested with the help of a Predator surveillance drone. So, Big Brother is watching you on the internet, your phone, your Apple phone, your iPad, your iMac. Now it's going to be in the sky, probably watching through your TV. We reported on that, I think, last week about how they're trying to watch through the TV. Let's keep on going, though. It says here, the bizarre case started when 6 cows wandered onto Rodney Brossart's 3,000-acre farm. Brossart, an alleged anti-government sovereignist, believed he should have been able to keep the cows, so he and 2 family members chased police off his land with high-powered rifles. Okay, so after a 16-hour standoff, the Grand Forks Police Department SWAT team, armed with a search warrant, used an agreement they had with Homeland Security for about 3 years and called in an unmanned aerial vehicle to pinpoint Brossart's location on the ranch. The SWAT team stormed in and arrested Brossart on charges of terrorizing a sheriff, theft, criminal mischief, and other charges, according to documents. Says here, Douglas Manbeck, who was representing the state of North Dakota in the case, says the drone was used after warrants were already issued. Quote, the alleged crimes were already committed long before a drone was even thought of being used, unquote. He says, quote, it was only used to help ensure there weren't weapons and to make the arrest safer for both the Brossarts and law enforcement, unquote. What else he said? He also says, I know it's a touchy subject for anyone to feel that drones are in the air watching them, but I don't think there was any misuse in this case. Well, anytime you're using a drone, period, is misuse. It's misuse of privacy. And like I said, man, all these technology and the things that we have the government can use, unfortunately, we can't trust them to use it the right way. So even if they were going to do it just for the bad guys or only use these weapons for people who really deserve it, we can't trust that. We can't trust them, So at the end of the day, you just have to follow the Constitution. And in the Constitution, it doesn't say anything about being watched by drones. So, it says here, John Villasenor, an expert on information gathering and drone use with the Washington, D.C.-based Brookings Institution, says he'd be floored if the court throws the case out. Using a drone is no different than using a helicopter, he says. Quote, it may have been the first time a drone was used to make an arrest, but it's certainly not going to be the last. And I'll say that again. It may have been the first time a drone was used to make an arrest, but it's certainly not going to be the last. And to tell you the truth, that probably ain't even the first time it was used. It's probably the first time they told us it was used. Can't believe what they're saying, man. If they're saying it's the first time, it's probably really the 10th or the 100th time. Who knows? We don't know what Big Brother and our government is doing behind closed doors. Let's see. Currently, about 300 law enforcement agencies and research institutions, including the Grand Forks SWAT team, have temporary license from the FAA to use drones. Currently, drones are most commonly used by Homeland Security along America's borders. So, yeah, you can check that article out at usnews.com. It came out yesterday. So, yeah, Big Brother's watching this, watching everything. They're probably listening to us right now. But, hey, I say we're watching them. We're listening to them, and they're getting scared. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. Also at RussiaToday.com or RT.com, DHS, which is the Department of Homeland Security, hires hackers to crack video game consoles. So you like to play Xbox Live? You want a game thing all day? Are you battling Ron Paul supporters? Are y'all talking about the Constitution or talking about taking your country back while you're playing your game? Well, too bad. Government's listening to that too. Now the government's going to start coming into your games, hacking your video games, listening to your conversations, seeing what's going on. Let's see. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security might soon take the joy out of joystick. The country's top counterterrorism unit has awarded a California company $177,000 to hack video game consoles under the guise of cracking down on criminal activity. San Francisco-based Obscure Technologies is the recent recipient of a government contract for $177,000 for small computer forensics firms with less than half a dozen employees. It's a significant sum being awarded by Uncle Sam. The only catch, however, is that the small-time Silicon Valley company will be in charge of prying into the video game consoles used by millions of Americans during their personal pastime that was thought to be otherwise free of federal interference. Let's see. According to the Department of Homeland Security, uncovering online communications conducted over video game networks could be key in thwarting terrorism. So now you could be a terrorist if you're playing these video games. Let's see here. As per the official contract awarded earlier this month to Obscure Technologies, the DHS is hoping the small-time computer experts will be able to come up with hardware and software tools that can be used for extracting data from video game systems. If those powers can be made possible, the government wants to be able to get into the heavily encrypted computer data inside machines like Microsoft Xbox 360 and Nintendo's Wii in order to build cases against could-be criminals. Could-be criminals. All in the name of what could happen. What if? That's why we got to be there. That's why we got to watch, just in case. No, we need to be watching you. We need to be watching the government. Big Brother needs to have a camera on him. In explaining their case, the government argues that both pedophiles and terrorists alike are using communication modes available only through video game systems to both lure in children and plot possible attacks. Currently, video game platforms largely rely on heavy-duty encryption to keep any sort of person-to-person correspondence made through their systems hard to uncover. But the DHS believes that once Obscure can crack that code, they will be able to provide a procedure that law enforcement can use in furthering investigations. So yeah, we're gonna go back to talking about the Trojan. Everything has to do with the kids. Just like we got to take away your weed and keep doing this drug war. It's all for the kids because the drug dealers are getting to the kids. Even though the kids don't got no money, somehow the drug dealers want to bother the kids. And now we're gonna start tapping into your video games because you're a pedophile or a terrorist. Anyways, it's getting ridiculous. We're going to be coming up to my interview in the next segment, so tune in. I'm Paco. You're listening to Occupy the Media.
One is a serial hypocrite who lobbied for Freddie Mac before the housing crisis and for the individual mandate before Obamacare. Another, a counterfeit conservative who opposes right to work, massively increased spending, and funded Planned Parenthood. Finally, a flip-flopper who's been on all sides, supported TARP bailouts, and provided the blueprint for Obamacare. Three men, one vision, more big government, more mandates, less freedom. One man stands apart, ready to deliver real change, voting against every tax increase and every unbalanced budget every time. A real plan to cut $1 trillion year one and to balance the budget in 3. Pro-life, pro-right to work, guided by faith and principle. Ron Paul, the one who will restore America now.
I'm Ron Paul, and I approve this message.
One serial hypocrite exposed.
He went the other way when he got paid to go the other way.
Now, another has emerged. Rick Santorum.